Hello, everyone. Welcome to English Insights. Today, we will explore the amazing story behind one of the world's most popular holidays, Halloween. Every year, millions of people wear costumes, go trick-or-treating, and decorate their homes with pumpkins and ghosts. But where did this tradition come from? What is the real story behind Halloween? In this lesson, we will travel back in time to learn how Halloween began and changed through history, while also improving your English listening skills. Now, let's get started. Part 1: The Ancient Celtic Festival of Samhain. Long before Halloween became the fun night we know today, there was an old festival called Samhain. It was celebrated by the Celtic people who lived in Ireland, Scotland, and parts of Britain. More than 2,000 years ago. For them, the year was divided into two parts, the light half and the dark half. Samhain marked the end of summer and the beginning of winter. The Celts believed that this time of year was special. They thought the line between the world of the living then and the world of the dead became very thin. On the night of October 31st, they believed that the spirits of the dead could return to visit the living. Some spirits were friendly, but others could be dangerous. To protect themselves, people lit large bonfires on hills. They believed the fire and the smoke could keep away evil spirits. Families also left food outside their houses.
Thích hợp cho sách nói, lồng tiếng quảng cáo. Thích hợp cho sách nói, lồng tiếng quảng cáo.
So that ghosts could not recognize them. This is one of the oldest ideas behind wearing costumes at Halloween. Samhain was also a time to celebrate the harvest. It was the last chance to store food for the long, cold winter. People cooked together, told stories, and enjoyed music and dancing. They thanked nature for giving them food and life. At the same time, they remembered family members who had died. Life and death were both part of the same circle. Druids, who were the Celtic priests, led the ceremonies. They believed they could read signs from the spirits and tell the future. When the fires burned down, families took a small piece of the fire home to light their own hearths. This symbolized safety and hope during the dark months ahead. Although we do not know everything about Samhain, we can still see how its spirit lives on in modern Halloween. The fire became candles in pumpkins. The masks became costumes, and the offerings became sweets for trick-or-treat. What began as a serious spiritual event thousands of years ago slowly turned into the fun and colorful celebration we enjoy today. Part 2: The Roman Influence. Many years after the Celts celebrated Samhain, a powerful empire called Rome began to grow. The Romans conquered many Celtic lands, including parts of Britain and Ireland. When two cultures meet, their customs often mix. This is what happened with Samhain and the Roman traditions. The Romans had their own festivals that were similar to Samhain. One was called Feralia. It was a day in late October when people honored the dead. Families visited graves, left food for their loved ones, and prayed for peace. Another festival was for the goddess Pomona, who was the goddess of fruits and trees. Apples were her special symbol. When the Romans ruled over the Celtic people, these two celebrations slowly joined with Samhain. The idea of remembering the dead came from Feralia, and the use of apples came from Pomona. In this way, the ancient Celtic and Roman traditions became one. Some people say that this mix of cultures helped create new customs. For example, the game of bobbing for apples, where people try to catch apples floating in water with their mouths, may have come from the festival of Pomona. It was a fun way to honor the goddess and enjoy the fruit harvest. Even today, this game is still popular at Halloween parties. The Romans also brought new ways of celebrating. They built temples, offered sacrifices, and held public feasts. These events made the season feel more social and joyful. Over time, the local people adopted some of these Roman ideas, but kept their own beliefs about spirits and the changing seasons. As the years passed, Samhain was no longer only a Celtic tradition. It became a combination of old and new customs, a festival that connected life, death, and nature. It marked the end of harvest and the beginning of a quiet, darker season. People still believed that the dead could visit during this time. But they also enjoyed the chance to gather, eat, and share stories. The Romans ruled the Celtic lands for hundreds of years, so their influence was strong. When the Roman Empire later turned to Christianity, these mixed customs did not disappear. Instead, they slowly changed again, taking on new meanings. The next part of our story will show how religion reshaped Samhain and turned it into something closer to the Halloween we know today. Part 3: The Christian Influence. When Christianity began to spread across Europe, it also reached the Celtic lands. The Church wanted people to follow Christian traditions, instead of old pagan customs like Samhain. But many people loved their autumn festival and did not want to stop celebrating it. So the Church decided to change the meaning of the festival instead of ending it. In the 7th century, the Church created a new holiday called All Hallows Day, also known as All Saints' Day. It was a day to remember and honor all Christian saints and martyrs. Later, another day was added, All Souls' Day, to remember all the faithful who had died. These two Christian holidays were placed at the beginning of November, very close to the time of Samhain. The night before All Hallows' Day was called All Hallows' Eve. Over time, people started saying it faster, and it became Halloween, and finally, Halloween. This is where the name comes from. So the old Celtic festival and the new Christian celebration became connected, even though the Church wanted to make the holiday more religious. Many old traditions stayed. People still lit fires, told ghost stories, and dressed in costumes. The difference was that now they also prayed for the dead and visited churches. The idea of the spirits visiting the living world continued, but it was given a Christian meaning. The souls of the dead were believed to travel to heaven or stay on earth for a short time. In some countries, people made small cakes called soul cakes. Children and poor people went door to door asking for them, in exchange for saying prayers for the dead. This custom may have inspired the modern tradition of trick or treat. Instead of prayers, children today ask for candy. But the idea of going from house to house began long ago. The mix of Celtic and Christian beliefs made the festival richer and more complex. It was no longer just about fear of spirits.
Thích hợp cho sách nói, lồng tiếng quảng cáo. Thích hợp cho sách nói, lồng tiếng quảng cáo.
By the Middle Ages, Halloween, or All Hallows' Eve, had spread across many parts of Europe. People celebrated it in different ways, but the spirit of the festival remained the same. To honor the dead and to enjoy the night before the dark winter began. Part 4. Halloween Comes to America. As time passed, people from Europe began to move to a new land, America. They brought many of their old traditions with them.
Thích hợp cho sách nói, lồng tiếng quảng cáo. Including the celebration of Halloween. But in the early years, Halloween was not popular in every place.
Some religious groups in America did not like it because it was connected to old pagan beliefs. However, as more people from Ireland and Scotland arrived in the 1800s, they brought their lively customs and stories. They liked to celebrate the end of harvest with games, songs, and ghost tales. Slowly, Halloween started to grow in popularity, especially in towns and villages where people lived close together. One famous story that came from Irish tradition is the legend of Jack-o'-lantern. It tells about a man named Jack who was clever but unkind. He tricked the devil several times, but when he died, he was not allowed into heaven or hell. The devil gave him only a small piece of burning coal to light his way in the darkness. Jack put the coal inside a hollow turnip, and he has wandered ever since. People called him Jack of the Lantern. When Irish immigrants came to America, they found that pumpkins were easier to carve than turnips. Pumpkins were big, bright, and full of color. Soon, people started carving faces into pumpkins and placing candles inside. This is how the modern jack-o'-lantern was born, one of the most famous Halloween symbols today. During the 1800s, Halloween in America began to change. It became less about spirits and more about community. People held small parties, told funny or spooky stories, and played games like bobbing for apples. Children dressed up in simple costumes and went around asking neighbors for sweets or coins. This tradition grew into what we now call trick or treat. By the early 1900s, Halloween was a well-known event in many American towns. Schools and families organized parades and parties. It was a time for laughter, not fear. Newspapers and magazines showed pictures of smiling children with pumpkins and candy. As American culture spread through movies and music, so did Halloween. The holiday became a symbol of creativity and fun. What once started as an ancient Celtic festival had now found a new life in the New World. Part 5. Modern Halloween Traditions. Today, Halloween is one of the most popular celebrations in the world, especially in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. It is a time for fun, creativity, and community. Children and adults all take part in the excitement of the season. One of the most common traditions is trick or treating. On the night of October 31st, children dress up in costumes and go from house to house. They knock on doors and say, "Trick or treat." Neighbors give them candy, chocolate, or small toys. Streets are full of laughter, light, and colorful costumes. Costumes are an important part of Halloween. Some people like to dress as ghosts, witches, or vampires, while others choose funny or cute characters from movies and games. Many families plan their costumes together. Even pets sometimes wear costumes. Dressing up allows people to be creative.
Và để trở thành sao một người khác trong một đêm. Pumpkins are everywhere during Halloween.
People carve faces into them to make jack-o'-lanterns and put candles inside. These glowing pumpkins decorate windows, gardens, and porches. Some designs are simple, but others are amazing works of art. Pumpkin carving contests are common in many schools and communities. Decorations are also a big part of the holiday. Houses are covered with fake spider webs, skeletons, and paper bats. Some people turn their homes into haunted houses for visitors to explore. Others play spooky music or tell ghost stories. To create a mysterious atmosphere, Halloween is not only for children. Teenagers and adults enjoy it too. Many people go to costume parties, watch scary movies, or visit haunted attractions. Some cities organize big parades.
Thích hợp cho sách nói, lồng tiếng quảng cáo.
The holiday has also become a big business. Every year, stores sell costumes, candy, and decorations worth billions of dollars. Movies and TV shows about Halloween are very popular, and many songs are written for the season. Although it is now very commercial, the spirit of Halloween, fun, mystery, and imagination is still alive. Halloween today mixes old traditions with new ideas. It is both ancient and modern, scary and funny. No matter where you are, it is a night to celebrate creativity and enjoy being together. Part 6. Halloween in the East. In the past, Halloween was mostly celebrated in Western countries like the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. But over the last few decades, it has slowly found its way into Asia. Today, more and more people in the East enjoy Halloween in their own unique ways. At first, many Asian people saw Halloween only in movies or on the internet. They were curious about the costumes, the pumpkins, and the spooky decorations. When global travel and social media became popular, young people started to join the fun. Cities like Tokyo, Seoul, Singapore, and Hong Kong began to hold Halloween parties. In shopping streets, clubs, and amusement parks. In Japan, Halloween has become a big event, especially in places like Shibuya in Tokyo. Thousands of people wear creative costumes and gather in the streets to take photos and enjoy the atmosphere. But in Japan, Halloween is not about ghosts or scary stories. It's more about cosplay, fashion, and fun. People love showing their creativity and meeting new friends. In South Korea, Halloween is also popular with young people. Many bars, cafes, and schools organize themed events where people dress up and take part in costume contests. Theme parks like Everland and Lotte World create large Halloween shows with decorations, parades, and characters. Korean pop culture, with its love for performance and beauty, mixes perfectly with the playful side of Halloween. China has a different story. Halloween is not a traditional holiday there, but big cities such as Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou celebrate it in modern ways. Malls and restaurants use Halloween themes to attract customers. Children in international schools may have small trick-or-treat events. However, in Chinese culture, there is already a special day for remembering the dead, the Hungry Ghost Festival. The Hungry Ghost Festival, also called the Zhongyuan Festival, happens in the 7th lunar month. People believe that spirits come back to the world of the living during this time. Families burn paper money and make food offerings to honor their ancestors and help lost ghosts find peace. It shares a similar idea with Halloween, showing respect and care for the dead. In Vietnam, there is a festival called Vu Nan, often associated with Ghost Month. It is a time to remember parents and ancestors. People visit temples, give food, and pray for their loved ones. Like Halloween, it connects the living and the dead, but in a calm and spiritual way. In Thailand, the Phi Ta Khon festival is another interesting example. People wear colorful masks and dance in the streets to call friendly spirits. This festival mixes fun, laughter, and religion, just like Halloween does in the West. Across Asia, Halloween has taken on new colors. It is not always about fear or death. In many countries, it has become a social event full of joy and imagination. But at the same time, Asian people continue to keep their own traditions.
Thích hợp cho sách nói, lồng tiếng quảng cáo. Thích hợp cho sách nói, lồng tiếng quảng cáo. Of remembering ancestors and celebrating spirits. So when Halloween comes to the East, it does not replace local culture. It joins it.
Together, they create a bridge between the old and the new, between Western fun and Eastern wisdom. Part 7. The Meaning of Halloween Today. Halloween has changed many times through history, but its spirit has never disappeared. For many people, Halloween is about fun and creativity. It is a time when people can express themselves freely. They can be scary, funny, or magical. Some people spend weeks making their costumes by hand. Others decorate their homes with lights, pumpkins, and ghosts. Even schools and offices join the celebration with small parties and games. But Halloween also has a deeper meaning. In many cultures, this time of year is still a moment to think about life and death. Some families light candles or visit the graves of loved ones, just like the Celts did long ago. They remember people who have passed away and feel close to them again. This shows that the spirit of Samhain, the idea of remembering the dead, is still alive inside modern Halloween. In some countries, like Mexico, people celebrate the Day of the Dead, or Dia de los Muertos, around the same time. Families build colorful altars with photos, flowers, and food to welcome the souls of their ancestors. It is not a sad time, but a happy one. Although this is not the same as Halloween, both celebrations share the same heart. respect for those who came before us. However, not everyone celebrates Halloween in the same way. Some people think it has become too commercial. Others believe it is too focused on fear. But most people agree that it brings people together. Neighbors meet, children play, and families share laughter. Halloween reminds us that life is not only about work or serious things. It is also about joy, community, and imagination. When we wear a costume, carve a pumpkin, or share candy, we connect with an old story. A story that began thousands of years ago with fire, fear, and hope. Halloween is and always will be a night where the past and the present meet. A night that celebrates both the mystery of death and the beauty of life.